Hey guys, it's Sam. Welcome back to my channel. So it is the same day as the day that I filmed my least loved makeup or my last ditched effort makeup. Haven't quite decided what I'm going to call it yet. I did yoga, I made dinner, I baked cookies, I showered. So I'm back. My hair is fresh and clean. My face is also very fresh, very clean, and very red because I did do some exfoliating. We are ready to go again for another video of me testing out a bunch of makeup that I already have. This is, like I said in my last video, the perfect time for me to play with all of the makeup that I already have. One, because I'm on a no-buy, and two, because I'm stuck in the house. So if any of these products fail me or don't work well together, it's not a big deal. It is about 5 hours later. It's nighttime. It's like 8 o'clock, so I'm definitely not going anywhere, but I thought it'd be fun to play anyway. So today we are going to be doing a full face full of the most expensive makeup that I own. Now, this video is not meant to like brag about how much like the makeup I have cost me. Honestly, when I buy makeup, I tend to look at the product first and look at the price tag way later, like once I've already paid for it and I was like, ooh, that was a lot of money, and I come home and look at the bill and I'm like, oh, that's why. Like, I don't really associate price with makeup. I kind of just go, if I like it, I buy it. If I don't like it, I don't buy it. The price doesn't matter to me. It could be really inexpensive, could be the most expensive thing there. It never phases me, and I shouldn't shop that way, but I do. And this is just like a generic most expensive makeup, and what I mean by that is I looked on like the Sephora website and MAC website and all of these websites just to find the most expensive products that I own, but they're not by volume. So it's like something may say it's more expensive, but it comes with less than something that was, do you know what I mean? Like it comes with more than something else or whatever. Anyway, doesn't matter. Let's just jump straight into this because I know I end up talking a lot. So as I said, I just got out of the shower, so I'm super dry. So first thing we're going to do is a little bit of moisturizing. So I have got my Glamglow Glowstarter Mega Illuminating Moisturizer. This particular one is in the shade Nude Glow. I also have the darker one, like one shade up from this. So this cost $62, so that's pretty expensive for a moisturizer, but honestly, like, I love this stuff. This is what it looks like if you've never seen it before. It smells so good. It smells like a Terry's chocolate orange. It is so moisturizing. Like, I can just feel my skin soaking it up. And as you guys can see, it leaves like a really pretty, like, glowy cast to the skin. This kind of reminds me of a more hydrating version of like my old school MAC strobe creams, which I also love. Like, these are the kind of products that I will put on no makeup days. So like days where even, you know what, this is probably the only product that I will actually wear. What is this hair doing? Oh my god. That I will actually wear to work. You guys know I don't wear makeup to work. This is probably the only one I will use just because it is so hydrating. My skin was so dry, like it's already completely soaked in, but my skin just looks a lot healthier now. So the next product is kind of another one that I'm going to put on just to rejuvenate my skin a little bit, is the Hourglass number 28 Primer Serum. So I have a mini size, but the full size of this goes for, holy crap, that's a lot of money. Goes for, sorry, I'm just looking over here because I listed all the prices because I wanted to talk about them in my video. The full size of this is $86. That is ridiculous. I'm surprised I even own this. So it is just a primer serum, so it's completely clear. I'm just kind of gonna smack that on my face in a few places. Now I am going overboard with the priming right now. I'm using about 4 different primers, but that's just because they're all for different things. And honestly, the one that I was going to use next, I'm gonna not use. That's only because that Mega Glow Illuminator did so much. Well, no, let's use a little bit of it. So I've got the Charlotte Tilbury Wonderglow primer. This is a super cool, like, I'm hoping you guys can see just in the tube even, illuminating primer. This is $65. I'm just gonna put this in like a couple Target places. So I'm gonna put it on my cheeks for sure, anywhere that I want a little bit of glow. And this is so unnecessary because the foundation I'm gonna be using today is gonna have some glow to it as well. So I'm just putting it in those areas. So majority of my face, but you'll notice I stayed very far away from my nose, and that's because the last primer we are going to use is the Tatcha, the Silk Canvas Primer. Now, they just put out a liquid version of this, and I hate that I can't get at it because of my no-buy. So the full size of this retails for $68, but this stuff is freaking amazing. It's like a combo between a blurring primer and a pore filling primer. It really, really just like softens the look of your skin, your complexion, evens you out, and it fills in some pores. Like, it's not as intense as like a pore putty, but what it will do is kind of give you just like a, as the name suggests, a silk canvas or a blank space just to lay your makeup on top of. So that is our face all primed and ready to go. I already feel so much better. I feel super glowy. I'm hoping that all of the primers I used will not negatively affect the foundation, because I know for me at least that does sometimes happen, where sometimes I'll wear certain primers or certain concealers and that sort of thing, and my foundation just separates like crazy and won't settle on my face. So the most expensive foundation that I own is the Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk Foundation. I am in the shade 4.5. This stuff is $80. It is so, so expensive. My second most expensive one is actually my Guerlain one, which I used in the other video that I filmed earlier today, which was kind of funny. I was surprised. I was like really, really close to using like a couple products doubled up. There was like $1 difference in which ones were more expensive. So I just have this little like pan that I always use to squirt my foundation in. It just makes it easier for me to pick it up. And I'm just going to put a couple squirts in there. I do like to put my foundation on with a brush. I know a lot of people don't like doing that. A lot of people like to use a beauty blender or, you know, like a face halo, that sort of thing. Whatever floats your boat. I'm just grabbing, I mean, I'll show you the palette anyway later, but I'm just grabbing the palettes that I'm going to be using today to use as a mirror so that I'm not doing this into the camera. So I'm just picking up some of that on my brush and just sort of tapping it down. I was saying in the video I did earlier today that I have a super bad habit of like dragging like this. And I find that it makes, you guys can now see the palettes, not like I was really trying to keep it hidden from you, but and I find that like it makes it look super streaky. I'm gonna zoom you guys in a little. I look like I have a mask on right now because I haven't gone up in between here yet. So I find that this actually does cover quite a bit. Like 2 pumps will do my whole face pretty well. I'm still getting a lot of redness through these areas here. I should have like color corrected or something. I'm just, like I said, I literally just used like a pretty harsh exfoliator in the shower. So my skin was a little bit angry at me. I'm just gonna take some of that down a little bit. Definitely get up and into the hairline here where I missed a few spots. And then I'm just gonna get all up and around that area too. I love this foundation, but I find that like as far as foundations go, it is kind of, sorry, I didn't realize how close I was to you. It is kind of difficult to work with. Like I find that it really like can amplify a lot of problems that I really would rather not amplify. Like that's sort of the reason I'm putting on foundation in the first place. It's nice. I like it. I like the effect it gives. It is very luminous, very nice, but it does look like up in this area. I'm hoping you guys can see. It looks a little cakey. It's settling into some of my pores, kind of in a way that I would prefer it didn't. I have to go and dampen this beauty blender. I thought it would be wet enough. It isn't, so give me 2 seconds and I'll be right back. Alrighty, it is time to move on to concealer. Excuse me, I'm having some speaking issues today. So there was one concealer that I had that was by far more expensive than the others. That is the Hourglass Airbrush Concealer. This was $45 and it was in the shade Creme or Creme. There's a little accent on it, not too sure. This makes me a little nervous because I have used this in conjunction with the Armani foundation before and it separated like crazy and made it look really, really bad. So I'm hoping that was just like a one-off thing. I've also got my NARS, what's this? The Soft Matte Complete Concealer. This is in the shade Light 2 Vanilla. This is $39. I know this isn't as expensive as the Hourglass one, but knowing how the Hourglass one has reacted with this foundation in the past, and knowing how like discolored I am, I want to use a little bit of this and get just a bit more complete of a coverage. Oopsies. Oh, I just stuck that all over my sweatpants. Isn't that nice? This is the one thing that I love about filming like makeup YouTube videos is that you guys can't see me from the hips down. So like as long as I look like okay from shoulders up, you guys will never know. I mean, other than the fact that I just told you, you guys will never know what I have on underneath. It's normally sweatpants. Like 90% of the time it's sweatpants. So now that I've got that on, we're going to add a little bit of this Airbrush concealer. So I love the tip of this. It's got like kind of, I'm hoping it'll, there we go, kind of like a teardrop shape. I really like that. It makes it really easy. Come on, camera. There we go. It makes it really easy to get like right up into your corner. Should put some of that on. I find that this Armani foundation oxidizes pretty badly. So there we go. We got some of that on there. Normally I would let it tack down, but I'm not going to. I'm just going to get straight into blending it out and hoping that it does not separate my foundation as it has in the past. I'm like attacking myself with this beauty blender. I don't know if you guys can see how like intensely I'm pouncing this on myself. It's pretty intense. Yeah, they don't really like to sit very well together. I can see a lot of like caking and creasing up under my eye, but we're just gonna keep on rolling. I don't want to change up what I'm using just because it's not working out for me. So for setting powders, the most expensive setting powder that I own apparently are the Laura Mercier loose setting powders. These are $51. I have the translucent and also the translucent glow. So we're going to be using mainly the translucent. I don't know if I'm going to dip into the glow yet. I haven't decided. So I'm just picking that up and I'm going to set all of that horrible concealer that I just used. And what this will also do is just kind of like, I'm really hoping that that doesn't fall off my lap. This is just also going to like finish up any of like the areas that maybe I missed. It kind of like fills them in, I find. So just anywhere that I put that concealer, I want to make sure I'm setting in with some powder. Just like that. I adore this. I feel like everybody that ever tries it loves this. I'm obsessed. It is always my favorite. I like other setting powders, but that one's the one that like if I'm in a hurry or like I'm having a I want no fuss with makeup day, that's always the one I go for. For brow products, I have a couple of the Benefit ones. So I do have a full size of this Ka-Brow product in the same shade. I'm just trying to finish up the mini. So I have the Precisely My Brow and also the Benefit Ka-Brow, and these are $32 each. That is the full sizes, not the mini sizes. So I'm probably going to stick mainly with the Precisely My Brow. I do prefer this one. I was really nervous that the most expensive brow product I owned was going to be that Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Wiz, which I used, sorry, I didn't realize it was focusing on the palette, which I used in a video I filmed earlier today, and I really don't like it. And I was like, oh, come on, don't make me use that same thing twice. It's so bad. In my opinion, I'm not a fan of it. I prefer this one or the NYX one. Okay, so I've mainly filled in with that. I am actually going to go in with some of that Ka-Brow just because why not? If I didn't tell you, this is in shade 2.5 and the Ka-Brow is in shade, that's not Ka-Brow, that was mascara. That could have gone horribly, horribly wrong. This is in the shade 2. This I got in like an Ipsy or a BoxyCharm or something like that, the mini one. And then I was like, I liked it so much that I went and I bought it in a full size, but I haven't finished the mini size yet because I ended up getting into other brow products instead. But I do like this. It's like it says it's a cream gel, but I find it more of like a powder consistency. It's not super creamy or super dark. It's really easy to blend out. I tell you guys this like you've never seen these products before. I always forget like a lot of the times when I'm using these makeup products that like these are things that everybody already knows about, and I'm like, oh, this like newfangled thing, and it's like, no, everybody already knows all about that. So there's the eyes, not eyes done, the eyebrows all done. So now I wanted to I'll get to that in a minute. We're gonna do some bronzing. So the most expensive bronzer I own is my Hourglass bronzer. This is in a Luminous Bronze Light. This is $69. Come here. I'm actually surprised because what I found when I was pulling all of this stuff out is that a lot of the most expensive stuff I have comes from like all of the same brands, which makes a lot of sense. Like it's a lot of like Hourglass and like Natasha, Denona, and that sort of a thing. I love this bronzer so much. It just warms up the face so, so much. I put a little bit too much right up there, but that's okay. But I was actually really surprised that this bronzer was more expensive than my Natasha Denona All Over the Face Glow that I use as a bronzer. And by like a pretty substantial amount. I was really surprised. It's so funny because like Natasha Denona eyeshadow palettes are so expensive, like particularly in comparison to everything else. And then you look at like some of their other products and I'm like, oh, that's not as bad now that I like look at it in comparison. So we are super bronzed up now. My under eyes are still pretty bright looking, so I guess that's good. I'm not loving the way that this lighting is looking. It's really washing me out. Like I'm a lot more bronzed now than I appear to be on the camera. So the next thing I am going to do, and that is just because this is like literally, I think the most expensive item on here, if I'm not mistaken. One of them. So I have these Guerlain Meteorites. These are light revealing pearls of powder for your face. These are in the shade 3 Medium. And I thought that I would just kind of brush this all over my face after I bronze. It'll kind of take down the bronzing a little bit and also just introduce some glow. Now I do have the specific brush made for this, but you certainly don't need it. I don't know. It's probably just a waste of money that I bought the brush, but whatever. We'll just go with it. I hate the smell of these. They remind me, when I was younger, and she's long past now, I had a grandmother and she was from Hungary. And every time I went like into her bathroom and stuff, she had all of these fancy like soaps and perfumes, and this, like, it was so overwhelming. It's kind of like a nice trip down memory lane. But like it was a combination of soap and perfume, and that's what the smell of these remind me of, is like being at her house in her bathroom. It's so funny. It's so funny how like I think what do they say? Your sense of smell is like your greatest memory or something like that. Like you'll connect more to like smelling something. Like I've had boyfriends in the past that have worn specific colognes, and if I'm like on a bus or on a train or just like walking through the mall and I smell that cologne, it'll immediately trigger up images of like people I used to know, even if I haven't talked to them forever. So now that we have like, it just gives you, like, I don't love recommending you guys to buy all these really expensive products. If you save up for them or you have a gift card to Sephora and you want to splurge, definitely do it. Do you need this product? No, but it does give like a really nice all over the face cast. So the blush that is the most expensive one that I have are these Natasha Denona Duo Glow blushes. These are $49 each. I have two. I have them in the shade Alba, which is like a more orangey one. And I also have Rayo, which is more pinky. So today I think we're going to use this one. I haven't used this one in a while. This is Rayo. And these are so, so gorgeous. They are so like pigmented and they're just glowy. I adore these, but again, they're very expensive. Like for a blush, $49 is a lot for a blush. But having said that, they are very pigmented, you know, so it's not like you're paying a lot of money and they're a piece of shit. Like they are really good. Because that's like the worst, is when you spend a ton of money on something and you get it and it's like not all that you thought it was going to be and you're like, what a waste of money. So now that I've got that done, we're going to get into highlighters. I need to stop talking to you guys while I'm over here. And I'm sure you, like, that's a problem a lot of people have with my videos, is that I'm not super like consistent in how I film. But I just kind of do it for fun. So next we're going to get into highlighters. This was like the closest category where I had the most products in the same ballpark. So in terms of highlighters, I had a ton of like liquid cream ones that were all $55. So I have the Hourglass Vanish highlight. This is in Gold Flash. I have the Marc Jacobs Spotlight Glow Stick. my Cover FX drops. These ones are in the shade Blossom. And then I also have the NARS Multiple in Copacabana. So these were all $55. But the one bronzer that highlighter that I have that's worth just a little bit more are the Marc Jacobs Dewdrops. These are $58. I have them in the shades Fantasy and Do You, which is the original. We're gonna go in a little bit with this. I never use this as just a highlighter because it's so intense. Like too intense. I'm just got a little crusty bit on the end here that I'm just trying to get rid of. I haven't used these in a while. Yeah, the highlight is like so insane that I normally just like mix it with foundation because if I just use it, it's like too much. So we're gonna just use it because it's the most expensive and that's the whole point. Do you guys see? Like, I use the smallest freaking amount and my nose is like lit up. Which is fine, that's like what you would want, but oh, hello there. Too much? That's okay, we'll just blend it into the lip a little bit. Do you guys see that? And I will tap a bit up here. Now I am going to, this stuff I really do prefer as just like a blend in with your foundation kind of a highlight. It's just really hard to work with. The consistency, it's very gel-like. It's just very difficult to work with and not to get like really stark lines on your face. So we're gonna pair that with my most expensive powder highlight, which, oh, I almost dropped that on the ground. Good catch, I wish you guys had seen that. Which surprised me. It is the Becca Shimmering Skin Perfector Pressed. These are $50. I have them in the shades Opal and Champagne Pop. I think today we're gonna use Champagne Pop just to go along with that golden theme of that Marc Jacobs Dewdrop. So I have them here. I love this highlighter. Again, I haven't used this in so long. That's why these videos are like so much fun for me because I'm getting to rediscover a love of products that I'd kind of like forgotten about because they're so, you know, old or like, you know, whatever. And I want to get into new stuff and then I stop using the old stuff. I don't know. It's one of those things where you don't want to get too caught up using like the same products over and over again. But then when you try so hard not to use the products that you know you love, they just kind of like fall by the wayside and then you don't use those either. So you're just, it's a vicious cycle, vicious. All right. So now that we've got our highlight done, just flipping the page here. Oh, yay. Okay. So now we can get into eyes. So the most expensive eyeshadow primer I have, and that is not this size, is the NARS Pro Prime Smudge Proof Eyeshadow Base. So in its full size, this retails for $34. It was close to like the Urban Decay Primer Potion, which I believe was also above $30. But this one just barely beat it out. I don't mind this eyeshadow primer. It's fine. I do prefer my MAC Paint Pot because like these ones are all like really thin and really clear. So like, do they hang on to your eyeshadow? Yeah, but they don't really like do a good job at canceling out any redness or any veining on my eyes or anything like that. So I always find that my paint pot can be like dual purpose. Like if I'm not gonna wear eyeshadow, I can just put that on and it'll still give me like a blank lid look if I don't want to do anything to my eyes. So while we let that dry, we'll quickly talk about the most expensive palettes that I own. Those are my Natasha Denona 15 pan palettes. I've also got one of their 15 minis. I have a couple of their 5 palettes and then of their 5 mini palettes. I do not own the gigantic palettes, which are like $300 or something like that. These ones are just for the affordable price of $162. It's ridiculous. They're so good, don't get me wrong, but that is so much to spend on one eyeshadow palette. You can get like 3 for that price. So I have the Tropic palette and the Safari palette. Hello. So we're going to be doing probably more the Tropic palette, but I brought the Safari palette out just in case I feel like I'm missing a little something something. So I feel like I never play with this palette on camera because it's so expensive and I know it's like not hard for people to get, but like people don't have that kind of disposable income just to like be like, oh yes, I can just, I mean, technically I don't either. Like I don't want you guys to think that I'm made of money here because I certainly am not. I just, you know, everybody has hobbies, everyone has things they like to do. Some people pay for gym memberships, some people, you know, pay for that kind of thing. My thing is makeup. It's what I spend my money on. You know, Tom has his records and his like ATV and that kind of thing. I only really have makeup. That's my big thing. So first color I'm gonna take just kind of all in the crease. We're gonna do this color Sahara. It's just up at the top here. These are like, you're gonna see how amazing these shadows are. They're so pigmented. They take like next to no effort to blend in. I'm just gonna bring you guys in a little wee bit closer. But again, they're so freaking expensive. It's so hard, right? It's so hard for me to be like, yes, definitely go out and blow all your hard-earned money. Like, I can't remember what it is in this country. I think minimum wage is like $16 now or something like that. It might be $15, but this would cost you like 10 hours of work, and that seems like a lot for an eyeshadow palette. It is a lot. Next color I'm going to take is my favorite color in this whole palette. This is this vintage taupe color. It's just absolutely gorgeous. And I've realized like a lot of my palettes actually have colors like this. I'm just going to put that all up in the crease as well. See how beautifully these like blend together? They don't get muddy, they just sit on top of each other and they sit exactly where you want them to, and they take, like I said, like no work to blend out. It's amazing. I love them so much. My nose is so shiny right now, I can't even handle it. I'm also going to take this color, that vintage taupe, and I'm going to drag it underneath my eye as well. I'm just looking for a clean pencil brush that doesn't have like purple or pink shadow all over it. I love that color just under there. I think it's absolutely stunning. Just beautiful, and that really is going to bring that upper lid and the lower lid together. So, so freaking pretty. Now, I want to do something fun because why not? So let's play with blues, shall we? Why not? Let's do a bit of Laguna, a bit of Tiger Lily, and some of this Mint Frost color. I'm feeling very bluish today. Like, I want to play with some blue colors, but not make it like too crazy. I'm actually going to use this palette a little bit too, so I'm going to go in with Stone and just sort of start there and start building up and just sort of see where we end up. I don't really know. I don't use this palette enough either. Like I said, I do reach for these palettes in my personal life. I travel with these palettes a lot because they do have like the really hard cases, so they travel really nicely. This is kind of like a white, bluey kind of gray. I'm really into it. I'm going to actually bring that underneath too, I think. What was I just saying? Oh yeah, so I travel with these a lot, but like I don't use them on my channel too much just because they are so expensive, and I always feel guilty. Like, I want to, and I know that my palette, like not even my palette collection, my makeup collection in general is much more heavily high-end than it is like drugstore, and I am trying to remedy that. I want to be more accessible so you guys can get a lot of the products that I use too. So next, let's go in with that Laguna. That's that super bright blue. I'm really excited to see how this is gonna look just in the crease. Woo! Oh yeah. That's gorgeous. And I think that with like that like brownie tan color that we laid earlier, they look really nice together. And I mean, orange and blue are complementary colors on the color wheel, so they always look really great together. Just like that. That looks really nice. I'm really happy with how this is turning out. I'm gonna take a little bit of this dark color. It's in Fata Morgana or Fata Morgana. I'm not too sure. It's like a dark navy blue. I don't even know if I've ever used this color before. Looks like I haven't, and I'm gonna just pop that in the outer corner. Darken it up a little bit. A ton of fallout on that shadow on the palette itself, but that's okay. And laid over that Laguna, this is turning into like a really pretty like teal color. We're gonna go back to the There goes my Cover FX drops. Back to that Laguna shade. Bring that back in a bit more because I lost a lot of that when I did that darker color. We don't want that. Okay, now I'm going to take Tiger Lily, which is that super, super beautiful, beautiful blue. And I'm just going to put that all over the lid. To about 2/3 of the way in. This looks getting a little crazy. I don't know about it. Just like that. Get that off my finger. I should have brought like makeup wipes in here. I'm going to take that Mint Frost color. Really pretty. Put that the rest of the way in, but not all the way in. Like I'm not going to touch the inner corner. I'm going to save that for another shade. Like that. Now I'm going to take this Lemoncello color. It's this beautiful, beautiful yellow. This is my favorite color to pop in my inner corner. It's just so, so pretty. Do you guys see that? So pretty. Just like that. And just for some fun, just because, you know, why not? Let's drag a little bit of that like purple color, this like lavender underneath. Let's just do it and just see how it goes. If I were a pencil brush, that'll work. Found like a smudger brush that has a ton of blue on it. So we're just gonna pick up some of that purple and just bring that underneath. This is very mermaidy. Honestly, I did not think that this look was going to go here. I thought that I was going to play to like some of my more like neutral everyday kind of colors that I always play with, but that would just be boring. Who wants to see that all the time? You guys don't want to see me do the same look over and over and over again. Why would you watch me? That would be boring. I'm really into this. It's a little crazy, it's a little much, but I really like it. So let's get into an eyeliner. So much like the highlighters, I had a couple eyeliners that were in the same price. I would say range, but they were the exact same price. So both my Stila Stay All Day liner and this Fenty Beauty Fly liner are $29. I'm going with the Fenty Beauty one because I used the Stila one in the look I did earlier today. And like I said, I'm trying to stay away from doubling up too much. I love this liner. It is super, super black, super, super like smooth. Oh, it's just so nice. And I love the tip on this. It's got like, I've talked about this before, how I'm kind of like a liner tip snob just because like I want it to be flexible without being too flexible. Like you need it a little, I don't know, you need it like a happy combination. If it's too stiff, you can't drag it across your eye. If it's too flexible, I don't know. It just, you have no control. Where's the lid? Got it. I just noticed I'm really loving what these eyeshadows are doing together. Like the yellow is kind of mixing into a light green, which is mixing into a teal, mixing into the blue, down to the purple. Like this ended up blending so, so nicely together. Like I'm going to get you guys nice and close. Do you guys see that? I'm actually like in love with this eyeshadow. Again, I haven't worn like blue eyeshadow in so freaking long. Because I always think it's just too much for me, but I think I'm wrong. I don't think it is. In terms of mascara, how funny is it that my favorite combination of mascara are the two most expensive ones that I have? So I have the Benefit Roller Lash Mascara. This one is $33, and I do have a mini size of the Too Faced Better Than Sex Mascara. This one is normally $32 in its full size, but I just have the mini right now. So I like to put on my roller lash first. This one is really good for separating, extending, and lifting and curling your eyelashes. It's also because it's so tiny, like the bristles are so small, it's really good for doing your lower lashes as well. Because I don't know about you guys, but I don't like taking huge mascara wands that are meant for volumizing and trying to do my lower lashes. I always just find it ends up in a hot mess. And then I've got that Too Faced Better Than Sex mascara, and while the other one is still wet, so that the lashes are still really flexible, really, really easy to manipulate, I like to put a bit of that on just to give them some volume. I actually had somebody ask me if I had eyelash extensions in once when I was doing this exact same look, and I was so flattered because I think my eyelashes suck naturally. So for someone to be like, oh my gosh, you have like eyelash, I was like, oh, you're the best. Alrighty, for a lip liner today, I only have one that's like even kind of pricey. So this is the Smashbox Always Sharp lip liner. This was $28. This is in the shade Nude Fair. I just pulled the back off because I wanted to see, like, some of them come with like a sharpener in them. Is the sharpener in the lid? Maybe. I don't know. I'm not a big fan of this liner, to be completely honest. It's okay. I also never really figured out. Oh! Oh, I broke it. What an idiot. I snapped a piece off of it. I was trying to figure out for the longest time how to like even like get this to push up, and I couldn't. Okay, so the sharpener's in the lid for sure because this was like a fresh tip. I just snapped it off by accident and it's already sharp again. So I guess to get more, you just kind of like push it upwards. I'm not going to do it again because I'm just going to waste more. But that's really good to know. I wondered where that sharpener was. So the fact that I'm using this lip liner is kind of gonna limit the colors of lipstick that I use, but because it is nude, I don't know, I guess I can do whatever I want really. And I feel like this eye look calls for a nude lip. So there's that. I'm not a big fan of this. I find that it's kind of drying. It doesn't glide on very smoothly. It's not my favorite lip liner I've ever had. So for lipstick, the most expensive lipsticks that I own are the Pat McGrath lipsticks. So these range anywhere from $52 to $53 in their full size. I think the minis are $33 stands out to me. I don't really know why, but I know that you can get all of the minis in full sizes too, which is why I have them. I've got just like a small handful of them because I wanted more color options because I knew that this one wasn't going to work for today. This is, I think it's in Wild Orchid. Deep Orchid. I love this color, but like it's not good for this. And I have a bunch of their Blitz Trance ones which are like very shimmery, and I didn't really feel like playing with one of them either. So I think I'm gonna dig through here and try and find a neutral one that will go with this lip. Alrighty, so I've decided to go with this color. This is Beautiful Stranger. It's just a really, really pretty like pink neutral kind of color. I think it's gonna go really, really well with that liner. So these lipsticks are crazy pigmented. I should be doing this into a mirror and not into the camera. I'm going to make a mess of this. And I did make a mess, but that's okay. So that is going to be the color we are going with today. It is a little bit more dark than I intended on it being, but I still think it's neutral enough that it doesn't take a ton away from the eye look. And the last thing that we're going to do is set our face, and the most expensive setting spray that I own is my Marc Jacobs Recover Perfecting Coconut Setting Mist. This is $53. So let's spray. This actually does happen to be the one I used in the video today, but that's okay. Let that all soak in. So, final thoughts. Honestly, I think this looks really, really good. I'm obsessed with the way that my eyes turned out. I think that they look phenomenal. I really do need to start like playing with different shadows more and more and more and getting more into them and like getting outside my comfort zone a little bit more. This highlight is insane. I know it's that Marc Jacobs one. It's probably in conjunction with Champagne Pop because that's looking pretty intense too, but my nose is just out of control highlighted. Turns out that once I put powder in, I mean, it's not settling the nicest here, but like from far away, it looks really, really nice, really clean. But from close up, it's definitely that foundation and that concealer. I don't know if it's one of them or both of them, or if anybody else had this problem. It definitely was settling into pores a little bit more than I wanted it to. So this was a really fun video for me. Like I said, I got to play with a ton of makeup that I haven't used in a really long time. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. I am still planning on doing some Shop My Stash videos. I just have to finish the rest of my collection so that you guys know what it consists of, because I want you guys to have like a full picture of everything before I'm asking you to like pick out what you want me to use. So if you like this kind of video, then give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel. I would really appreciate it. I will have everything listed and linked down below, and I will catch you guys next time. Bye.